Have you ever tried to debate a determinist? They'll say, I don't have a choice in what I feel or how I do it. It's all predetermined. And honestly, how do you argue with that? You can't, because in their worldview, even your argument was predestined. Whatever you say, they can dismiss as pre-programmed. Whether they say math made me do it, or God made me do it, or hormones made me do it, it's the same thing. The logic always points away from personal responsibility. So what's actually at stake here? What we're actually talking about here is called the locus of control. It's this psychological term that refers to the degree to which individuals believe they have control over the events in their lives. Hey, I'm editing the video that you're watching right now, and I'm realizing that I'm about to drop a whole bunch of dense, heavy information on you. And so I've inserted some captions, but also more importantly, I'm just asking that you bear with me. I'll try to make it interesting. Thank you. The concept was proposed by psychologist Julian Rotter, who proposed that individuals can be categorized as having either an internal or external locus of control. With the internal locus of control suggests that individuals believe their actions and choices have a significant impact on their lives and the outcomes of their lives, while those who externalize the locus of control indicate that individuals believe their outcomes are largely determined by external factors like luck or fate or powerful others. People with an internal locus of control believe that they have control over their lives and their actions and choices shape their outcomes. They're more likely to take responsibility for their successes and failures and tend to be more proactive in seeking solutions to problems. Research suggests that an internal locus of control is associated with higher academic and professional success, and better health outcomes, and greater psychological well-being. While those who externalize their locus of control believe that other people, or luck, or fate, or God, or hormones, or math made them do something. And they may be less likely to take personal responsibility for their actions, and they may feel less motivated to take action to improve their situation. While it's not inherently negative, an external locus of control can be associated with feelings of powerlessness and can make it harder to overcome challenges. Students who believe that their grades are a direct result of their effort and study habits are able to take responsibility for their academic well-being. Whereas a student who attributes their grades to the difficulty of the course or the teacher doesn't like me, they have externalized the locus of control and there's nothing they can do to better their situation from their perspective. A number of factors go into how a person develops an internal or external locus of control, but oftentimes it comes down to life experiences, personality traits, and parenting styles. Parents who encourage interdependence and teach children the connection between actions and consequences can foster an internal locus of control. Locus of control can influence your motivation, your achievement, your health, your psychological well-being, can help you take more proactive steps in shaping your life and achieving your goals. So what we're talking about today is an individual's perception about the underlying main causes and events of their life. When your locus of control is external, life happens to you. Success is luck, and failure is someone else's fault. And ultimately, why try? The mindset leads to helplessness, blame, and passive coping. And when taken to the extreme, it becomes a victim mindset. Many choose to relinquish their freedom to wallow in feelings of I have to, rather than face the responsibilities inherent in making a choice, because a free person must face the consequences of their decisions. Determinism externalizes the believer's locus of control, so they conveniently don't have to take responsibility for the consequences of their actions. Very similar to an insanity argument, I would argue. And all of this ultimately leads us down the path to victimhood, because if it's not my fault, it must be somebody else's. I will tell you, it is a trap that looks like comfort. Now, I want to be clear before I go any further that I'm not talking about real victimization, trauma, abuse, injustice. Those are all very real things and those matter. But that is not the subject of this video. In this video, I'm talking about victimhood as a mindset, and that's something else entirely. A victim mindset shares qualities with narcissism. And we have to be careful to differentiate between victim mindset and actual victimhood. So let's take a moment to acknowledge that some people are actual victims of violence, abuse, rape, that we should not conflate with the victim mindset. Those are two very different things. Let us note that the subject of this video is strictly about mindset. My message is for them to stop calling themselves a victim if they are not in any real or present danger, and to begin taking action as active participants in their lives. But if you're in real trouble, a real victim of real abuse, seek out help if it's safe for you to do so. Please note, this video is probably not for you. Distinguishing between victim mindset and actual victimhood is to acknowledge what a mindset is about. It's about our consciousness, our headspace, a place where we go in our mind when we're not the best version of ourselves. Victimization is objective. We can all see it. Victim mindset is subjective, and it's seductive. I've been there myself, and there's actually 4 traits of victimhood. I'm going to list them out for you. I'm going to walk you through my progression through each of those states. Also, I am not a therapist, and I possess no formal training in psychology. I'm just an English teacher who's read a little bit about psychology, and I've gone to therapy myself. And I am speaking from a place of experience. I've been down inside the pit of victimhood, and I showed all the signs. So here they are, all 4. First, I sought out recognition from others for my victimhood. I said, "See how terrible the world is? See how they treat me? Isn't that wrong? Don't you feel sorry for me? Don't you pity me?" The irony here is that in seeking this recognition, I am actually seeking affirmation about my situation, which implies that I do, on some level, perhaps unconsciously, recognize my wrongdoing. Which leads me to the next step. This situates me in a position of moral elitism, which is developed as a defense mechanism and a way to maintain my own positive self-image. I begin perceiving myself as being the moral, upstanding citizen. I am the good, while everyone else who stands against me, who doesn't agree with me, is immoral. They become they and them. They are othered as bad, which leads to the third step. I now draw a line in the sand, and as such am entitled to withhold any empathy toward others, especially if they disagree and don't support and uphold my righteousness. And I have now written myself a license to behave selfishly and ignore the suffering of others, which leads to the 4th step. I continue reinforcing this wall that I've built between me and the people who care about me, and I must frequently ruminate on my distress and what caused it all, rather than focus on solutions. So to recap, I went through this process of, see how unfair this is? See how they treated me? Don't you feel sorry for me? And I wanted recognition for my pain, because deep down, I was trying to avoid accountability. This mindset made me feel like I was the moral one, the good guy. And everyone who didn't agree with me, clearly, they were the villains. But here's the real kicker. When you put yourself on a pedestal like this, you stop empathizing with others, and you justify your own selfish behavior. And you ruminate instead of solving problems. And this is why it gets dangerous, because this isn't just a personal problem. Victim mindset can become collective. It's behind some of the worst atrocities in history. Hitler blamed Jews for Germany's struggles. Putin paints Russia as a noble victim of foreign aggression. Trump leans into the "we've been wronged" narrative, witch hunt, to justify control, repression, and moral superiority. And that story, "we're victims, so we don't owe you anything," is the same story that narcissists tell on both personal and political scales. So how do we get out of this mindset? How do you break the spell? Where's the escape hatch? The way you escape this mind trap is to develop agency. You have to believe that you can actively make changes to shape your life. It's called developing a growth mindset. And then you take ownership of your life. You begin by taking responsibility for your current situation, and then you take small, active steps toward the change you want to see. Not in some heroic, overnight way, but quietly, slowly, practically. In the altar of your inner sanctum, you have to develop a different mindset, a belief that you can make change. You take responsibility for your current situation, and then you take one small step, and that's it. You don't need to argue with determinists. You don't need to win some philosophical debate. You don't need to prove anything to yourself or others. You don't need permission from some guru. You just need to live as if your choices matter. Because they do. If you're feeling stuck or like the world's against you, Try asking, what is one thing I can do that I am willing to do today to move forward toward a future that I would like to see? You start there. That's agency. That's power. That's how you escape victimhood, one choice at a time. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Leave a comment, and if you think someone you know needs to hear this message, please share it with them. Your interactions with this channel really do go a long way in helping the channel reach a wider audience. I encourage you to check out my other videos on learning and growing. If you're interested in joining my mailing list so you can be notified when new material comes out, or you're just interested in checking out my free resources, you can visit my website at explore.mykajabi.com or click the link in the description below. Remember, better learning doesn't come from more answers. It comes from better questions. Thanks for watching.